What's up, Longhorn Nation? It is almost here. We are just a day away from Texas football kicking off week one against Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. And today I had the privilege of speaking with Emely Hernandez from the News Star in northeastern Louisiana. Now, a lot of us don't know a whole lot about this Louisiana Monroe team, and to be quite frank, coverage of that team is kind of scarce. It's not a super popular team across the country, but Emely took some time out of her day to talk to me about what we can expect to see as Texas fans from this Louisiana Monroe team. There's a lot of new things, installing an entirely new offense, replacing 7 starters on the defense. So we talked to her a little bit about that, and I think it was a really good interview. So check it out. Hook 'em. I guess let's just get into it with Louisiana Monroe football. I guess it's not a team that a lot of Texas fans really know a whole lot about. I read a little bit from your articles. I did see that there is a new offensive scheme being
Mhm.
introduced. What has that been like for the players, and how are they picking up on that? How are they adjusting to this new scheme being installed?
Yeah, so it's Terry Bowden is going into his second year as head coach, and in year two, he's brought a whole new staff again. Last year it was led by Rich Rodriguez, who now coaches at Jacksonville State. But now Matt Kubik used to be offensive coordinator for ULM in the past. He set up like a 7-phase kind of introduction to the scheme. Coach said that they were up till in the sixth installation, starting to go into the seventh one. So everyone that I've talked to, both quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, they've all kind of really bought into the new offense, and everyone's confident in the offense and the way that they've kind of gotten things to come together, despite being the second new offensive coordinator in the last 2 years.
I was reading up on y'all's quarterback. How did he do last year? Because I think I read right that he started all 12 games last year, and then they announced him as the starting quarterback for this year about a month ago. So I guess just kind of explain how he played last year and what kind of play style can Texas fans expect to see from
Mhm.
him in week one.
So Chandler Rogers, he is a sophomore. Last year, he didn't start all 12, but he did play all 12.
Okay.
I guess what Texas fans can kind of expect would be your typical dual threat quarterback. He's very quick on his feet.
Mhm.
He's not afraid to run the ball, but he's not afraid to throw the long pass. Not only my opinion, but coaches and offensive coordinators, they've all said that Chandler Rogers is probably the best. He complements the new offense very well. And so he's really bought into the new offense and can kind of carry out what they want for this new offense.
And obviously, the quarterback isn't the only important piece of the
Right.
offense. Who's he going to be throwing to? What are some names to look out for receiver wise? And even in the backfield, who are some guys that can help him cause havoc at running back as well?
Two big running backs would be Andrew Henry and Malik Jackson. Malik Jackson kind of is a newer name in the running back group because I think he switched back to slot receiver. He's been going back and forth since
Yeah.
last year.
And then defensively, replacing 7 defensive starters, that's a tall
Mhm.
task for just about anybody. What is this going to be like for a school like Louisiana Monroe, who maybe doesn't have those top recruits waiting in the balance to take over for these guys?
Right. So they've been digging into that transfer portal,
Yeah.
trying to find the best that they can out of junior colleges and other schools at the group of five level that, just want a shot. Um, Defensive coordinator Vic Koenig said that they are a work in progress. It's they're still kind of just mixing and matching to see who really fits in together, who works well with who, to kind of have the defense firing in all cylinders. But a big part of that has been linebacker, super senior Zach Woodard. I want to say he was either first team or second team all conference last year, led the team in tackles. The dude's ridiculous, to put it lightly.
Right.
But he's kind of taken on that veteran role, that kind of, okay, the little guys kind of come under
Right.
his wing, and was kind of, and is trying to get that defense to kind of gel into what Koenig wants.
And speaking of that, I mean, Texas, most of my following is Texas fans, so they know this, but they're loaded on the offensive side of the ball. For a freshman quarterback, a really young offensive line, so maybe some chances to cause havoc along the lines. But they've got a lot of weapons. Obviously, Bijan Robinson coming into his junior year, um, Xavier Worthy, and a ton of other weapons at receiver. What what do you think, or what have you been told this Louisiana Monroe defense can do to kind of try and slow that down?
Yeah, so on Tuesday, actually, Coach Bowden was kind of explaining how stopping the Texas offense is not going to happen.
Hmm.
It's just not going to happen. You put a very Power 5 team against a Group of 5 team at
Right.
a one of the lower conferences to say it's unavoidable. But what they're trying to do is not let Texas run all over them.
Okay.
Kind of just keep themselves in the game.
And I feel like that's a big part of a lot of these games where it's big Power Five versus small Group of Five schools. A lot of it comes down to, can you eliminate those explosive plays, and then on the offensive side of the ball, can you create explosive plays? Who on the offensive side of the ball for Louisiana Monroe would be capable of breaking off one of those explosive plays, or maybe special teams wise, any kind of returners, punt return, kick return,
Yeah.
that could help do that as well.
Yeah, so the special teams group is actually kind of interesting because they're all returners. They're the only phase that actually the whole squad came back.
Okay.
Um Callum Sutherland, they said that's the kicker. They said that they're comfortable having him go out there at the 45-yard line.
Hmm.
So he might get some action on Saturday.
Yeah.
If special teams is the most experienced out of the at ULM. But offensively, last year they kind of struggled with the creating big plays. Bowden emphasized a lot last year that they would begin to like kind of get into a rhythm, but wouldn't be able to close out with that big play. And if they were to have two or three more big plays, they would have won the game, kind of deal.
All right. So last thing before we go, give me a final score prediction. I saw one. I think I read an article from you predicting the final score for all of the games this year. I don't remember
Mhm.
what it was for the Texas game though. I think it was a little closer than what I expected it to be, which maybe
Okay.
there's a little bit of bias on both sides. But
Right.
go ahead and go ahead and give me a final score prediction.
Um, I honestly don't remember what I put for that too, but I'm just gonna give you a new one.
Okay, I won't call you out
Um,
on it. Like I won't fact check you and be like, "Oh, she said it here, but it's completely
right,
different here."
right. I'm gonna say Texas wins.
Mhm.
Um, like 52-20.
Okay, all right. I like that. I like that. Maybe some explosive plays get through there on the offensive side.
Yeah.
And okay, awesome. Well, Emily, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for
Um,
having me.
good luck on Saturday.
Thanks. You too.